two crypto firms have been approved by the Nigerian government to do crypto business in Nigeria. More are coming. Okay, I just want to know what's your perspective.
Okay, so interestingly, I wrote an opinion piece about this development, I think just this past week in the cable, and my submission there was the fact that this is actually a step in the right direction, because again, where there is no law, there is no sin. Do you get? The Nigerian government and the Nigerian authorities have played, around this issue for too long. And my concern really, in fact, is we should be forward thinking rather than backward thinking, right? With the advancements of technology, cryptocurrency, AI, and all of what you have in the tech ecosystem, right? We cannot but move ahead and along, as the developments come in. Else, we will just continually just be, second fiddle in the game of things globally. So my submission in there was the fact that this is a step in the right direction. It helps, the Nigerian community or the Nigerian virtual ecosystem to at least have a regulatory framework by which it can play by. So now that a regulatory framework has been issued out, the players know what to do and what not to do. And I also believe that even with this, the Securities and Exchange Commission's movement itself will not be cast in stone. The commission itself would learn as events unfold, and they will be able to tweak, and adjust their directives as the days go on. So it's a beautiful step for me. In my own opinion, it will help the entire ecosystem to be able to walk ahead, and we would have solutions that help Nigerians to also take advantage of digital assets. We cannot say we don't want to be part of the world. I mean, we can't afford it. And I feel that Africa has played the consumerism factor for too long. We have been consumers for too long. We need to start moving ahead. We need to start thinking, how can we also play big in this development, in this as things go on? Look at the world of AI right now. How many players do we have in that ecosystem? And so sex move, a brilliant move in my own opinion. Brilliant one. Now that two platforms have been approved, as they go on, as these platforms also operate, which in fact it's not like as if they've not been operating, right? It's just that it's been a shadow of
Yes.
hiding to do things. So, but now there's a framework for operations. Those people know what to play by and what not to play by. Even this commission itself, as the day go on, as the months go on, they would realize, and learn from the experiences and tweak their operations, tweak their regulatory directions, to suit, the lessons that they also gather from all of this. So it's a brilliant step for me. It will help us, to move at least forward. The CBN it was way back in the times of Buhari that it was a no for the Central Bank of Nigeria. They were running after anything crypto, anything virtual assets. Banks were giving directives not to approve transactions. They were going to step down accounts, block accounts that had anything to do with crypto, and all of that. And we were just in limbo. The system was just in a state of limbo. Nothing was going on. We're not moving forward. Meanwhile, the world was rapidly evolving. The world is rapidly evolving. And as I said, we need to, in line with this, the focus should not even be for us to be consumers. The focus for us should be, how can we also play big in this ecosystem? We should have our own virtual coins being floated to meet certain goods, certain social goods, because these also helps to drive, social campaigns, because by the time you drive in resources to a particular good, to a particular campaign, to a particular project, you would have the means to fund, ventures. So we cannot but move in this direction. And I'm just hopeful that the only hope that I have here is, I hope the Securities and Exchange Commission's move will not be to, well, so far so good. With what I can see, it appears to be in the right direction. I hope it will not be vindictive. I hope it will not be, it will not stifle growth. I hope it will not, inhibit, dynamism. That's just, concerns here and there. So once that is taken care of, this is the way to go. Now we know the laws that this platform should play by, and then, so when you do this, we know, oh, okay, you've gone against the law, and you face the music. All right. So it's a beautiful step for me. This is the way to go. And we just keep evolving in this direction to the point where we get to that point where we are not just, also playing in the small league, because this is still small leagues for me. We need to go big. We need to also issue out, coins. We need to also play big in this ecosystem. We need to have data set, because these are the things that bring, investments our way. And interestingly, this is one of the things that can empower young people. The data is there for us all to see. Even with the quote and unquote regulatory ban on it, you could see that it was one way young Nigerians could get around, getting to play in the digital ecosystem, because there are some things that would not work except, you have some resources in the climes of cryptocurrencies. All right. So it's one major enabler for our youth. So we cannot shy away from it. It's the way to go. And I just hope that Securities and Exchange Commission, evolve in this and help the ecosystem to grow, so that we also play big in this realm.
You talk about playing big, and also you mentioned, there's a place you mentioned about banks, right? Now, if you look at commercial banks in Nigeria, before these fintech companies found their feet lately, that they now have, these huge numbers and all that, we could see that initially Nigerian banks, commercial banks, were struggling. Customer, if a Nigerian bank has the most of customer in terms of, you want to pay your bills, your NEPA bills, you want to recharge data, you want to recharge core credit, everything that these fintech companies were doing, the Nigerian banks were doing as well, until maybe they are still doing it now. But of course, majorly people patronize these fintech companies. Do you think commercial banks, will also go into cryptocurrency? Do you think a time may come and they will say, okay, you can come and be saving your virtual money with us? We can also, okay, come and trade crypto in the banks. Do you see anything like that happening soonest?
So what I see happening, banks have their own world where they play in. These are institutionalized financial service providers, right? Interestingly, and that's where it gets a little bit tricky. It's more like a case of two ends of the divide, because your financial institutions are playing by, the regulated framework of, financial transactions. For crypto does not operate by the rules of the typical banking world, right? And this most probably was, informed the reason why the the authorities initially had this stance of, we don't want it, you're not anything crypto, because again, they could not really hold the players, right? You cannot. It's a decentralized ledger, so the tradings, the activities that go on are not things you can really, regulate, are not things you can really track.
Yes.
And that
Yes.
has been, their own, what gave them
Concern.
this laid back attempt initially. So what I see banks doing is just to be an enabler. All right, they will be an enabler, because again, you cannot run the crypto, the virtual world without the physical world, your regularized banking system. The thing is, it's more or less going to be a collaborative effort, because you still
Okay.
have your fiat currency placed in the banks. All right, your fiat currency will still be stored in your bank account, and then when you need to make use of it, you transfer it to, platforms like, is it Quidax now, that has just been
Yes. Quidax and
approved.
Busha.
So it's more or less going to be like a big brother thing. Do you get? It's going to be more like a big brother thing, and that's where I think also the banks, also the financial system, also just need to see that in this light, that they are not. It's not going to take away their business. All right, it's not going to take their business. It's more even going to enhance. Even though, yes, they might say, oh, it will take away funds from, the regular bank accounts. But then again, if we look at it from for the future, or for the long term view,
Mm.
it's more of positives than negatives. All right, it's more of positives than negatives. So the banks will not, by in principle, the standard operating procedure of banks is in sharp contrast to how the digital world works. So what I just see going forward is a place of a big brother, and collaborating with the new kids on the block,
Okay.
which,
Okay.
well, we will see how far crypto itself goes. We will see how digital asset itself goes. But then again, given what we can see, and given the flow and of events of the world, there is no backing down anytime soon. In fact, that is the way we need to go. Because everything is being unbundled, everything, the world is going virtual, the world is going digital. So obviously, what would just have is a continuum, a continuous process where these things just gets better. All right. Yeah.
Okay. So, Wale, um, do you think the government should now take it easy? Now, okay, you have been chasing or running after these international platforms, and at the end of the day, you've approved what they do for your own country. So, do you think, as a result of this, Nigerian government should take it easy on Binance? Do you think OKX should return? Do you think these big players, because before people start embracing these new guys, it's going to take time, right? There is need for trust. There is need for security. Like, people should be able to know that, okay, my money is safe here. My USDT is safe here. I can send and receive money without anything missing, right? And this trust, they already have it for this Binance, for Bybit, for this OKX, for you know pending the time this Busha and Quidax will build that trust that will be generally embraced. Do you think the Nigerian government should take it easy on Binance, just losing that grip a little and allow them to flow?
My definite answer to that is a big yes. So just this week, a Californian lawmaker just issued a bill that seeks to regulate AI, all right, in the US. And the back story to that is a goal where the players in the artificial intelligence world are regulated in such a way that they do not go against social good. All
Mm.
right. And that is instructive for us. That is the way to go. Essentially, what the government, what government is supposed to do, or is supposed to be in the business of doing, essentially is to provide frameworks,
Mm.
to provide regulation that enhances social good. That essentially is supposed to be what governments are supposed to be, is supposed to be the business of government. Government has no
Mm.
business being in business. All right.
Wow.
Their business essentially is to provide that regulatory framework that enhances businesses, that helps businesses to move ahead so that excesses are curtailed. Um, you know, they are just kept in check. So obviously, that's what we're supposed to be having. Just provide the regulatory framework. You can do this, you can do this, you can do this. You cannot do this, you cannot do this, you cannot do this. And these are the reasons why, you know, with the sole aim of simply securing, the social good, ensuring that the society moves ahead. That is essentially what government is supposed to be involved and is supposed to be doing. So for Binance, they've just been hounding, the Binance founder and all of that. What we're supposed to have is just call these guys. Um, Again, one of the things I've seen, right, I've realized is that there is a big burden on tech entrepreneurs. It was just a thinking of mine a few days ago when I read that Telegram founder, was detained in France.
Yes.
Because it now makes you realize that your entrepreneurship stride is is not just for yourself. It
Mm.
goes beyond you. Once you reach a level, it goes beyond just you. You are now serving the social good. And so, if, and the list goes on. Telegram founder has had his share. Facebook CEO has had his fair share. Even in the US, he's always called by the Senate, grilled, on their policies, domestic child abuse and all of that. Who else?
Mm.
TikTok, because of its own affiliation, to China, they've also been, on the spotlight, by US authorities. And essentially, what this has just been about is to just regulate, which is beautiful. So regulate for the common good. That's all that is needed. Regulate for the common good. Because again, like I said when we started, where there is no law, there is no sin. All right. Where there is no law, there is no sin. So just provide the directions. Provide the directions. Go easy. Provide the directions. These are the things you can do. If you're going to have users from our country, these are the things, these are the guidelines we want you to follow, right?
Good.
And then the world just moves on. Facebook is facing its own. Again, it's instructive for us to take note that this is not just this is not Nigeria is not having this in isolation. Just like I mentioned, like we all know, Zuckerberg has always been, continually, you know, um, called by the U.S. Senate, where he's grilled,
Yes.
where he's asked questions based on of their policies and how they try to, deal with certain issues. All right. So, and that's just all in the with the goal of regulation, so that now you've gotten to this level, you have millions and millions of users on your database, on your platform. You have gone beyond just survival, right? You have now become an entity for your social good. So obviously, we need to regulate you. And that's just what the Nigerian government ought to do. All these cases of
Arrest,
arresting,
detention.
detaining. I don't think we need this. Why isn't Zuckerberg being jailed? Why is he not being arrested? All right. So I think that's the way to go, especially if we are forward looking. Again, that is the focus. For what the question is, are we forward looking? Right? Are we forward looking? Our policies, our directions, our regulations, the things we issue out, are they for the common good, or are they just for the myopic view of a few? Right? Because sometimes that's what you get. Because somebody is feeling threatened somewhere, he just issues a direction, and that holds up a whole ecosystem. So it should be regulation for the common good. How will your platform benefit the entire society? How will we, in collaboration with you, drive the social good, empower young people, make the world a better place, make the financial system a better environment, right? The world is moving. Nigeria cannot be left behind. We cannot afford to. We have played too long in that back seat. We need to start taking we need to start taking charge. We need to start, taking strides that will push us a little bit further.
Okay, while you're talking about taking the right position and being in charge, right, and a good place to compete with the global players. What do you think these new guys, Quidax, Busha, now they've been approved, what do you think they should do to compete, right, favorably with the top guy, with the Binance, with the Bybit, with the OKX, because Nigerians need to transit from those international platforms to the local ones here, right, that has been approved. So, but these local ones, what do you think they should do so that they can be at, if not at par, but at least show this great potential that you can compete favorably when it comes to the global space?
Okay, very beautiful question. So I think one of the things that should be the driving force for these new, not new, and we shouldn't say new entrants. We shouldn't say new entrants.
Newly approved.
Newly
Newly
approved,
approved.
platforms. I think one of the things that is the major cause of concern is how do these platforms curb crime? All right. It may seem totally unrelated, but I think it's one thing they should take, very, very good note of. And that's where these regulations too are there. All right. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to help them do, beat them into just operating in the right direction. So I think putting in place measures that ensure that their platforms are not used for social ills. All right. Fraud. Yes, to a large extent, this may not, let me not say may not, this, you may not be able to curb it 100%, right? But you must be seen, and you should strive, and you must be seen to be doing what is good. You must have measures in place, even as a platform that self-checks yourself. We don't play in the digital space. There are measures that we have put in place. Again, coming from the experiences that we have had as a platform ourselves, there are measures in place that we have put. There are measures that we have put in place to ensure that you are not using our platforms to send out scam messages. There are measures we have put in place that ensures that you are not using us to scam people. And that's just us as a business messaging communication platform. All right. So these platforms need, I think it's top on the list, to have in-house rules that ensures that their platforms are not you being used for fraud. Once that is sorted, I think the sky is the limit for them. It's just about engagement. And one thing that is they have going for them is the fact that they have the number. Nigeria is home to I think the last check,
Millions.
what millions of young people, in fact. So the numbers work in their favor.